Hello everybody, welcome to the Camera Gamer Movie Show. My name is Deshaun and today I am here to review The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 2. Now, Episode 2 is kind of freaking nuts because all the way leading up to this season coming out, even after last week's episode, we thought that they would spend the entire season, building up to Mando visiting Mandalore. They kind of set it up last season with Bo-Katan and the armor and a few other Mandalorians along the way saying that the planet was cursed or saying that the planet was glass or saying that there was nothing on the planet. And, there was so much conversation there. And obviously last week, the first episode of Season 3, it was set up like he was going to go get the IG droid. He was going to fix the IG droid. He was like, this is what I thought was going to happen. This is what we all thought was going to happen. Is that Mando was going to go off on kind of a side mission, find an IG droid memory card so that he can bring the IG droid back, voiced by Taika Waititi. And that was going to be like 1 or 2 episodes. And then maybe he would go visit, we thought maybe an episode, maybe like let me see. For Sooners, we thought, at least I thought, that Mando was going to be on Mandalore, actually visiting Mandalore to take a dip in those living pools or living waters or whatever to redeem himself. I thought fastest that was going to happen, because Mandalorian's like 8 episodes, I think. I thought the fastest that was going to happen was episode 5, 4 maybe? At least 4. No, episode 2. Boom. Mando goes there. And it seems like he kind of quit on the IG droid thing. That part was a bit confusing because the way he was making it sound was like he needed this IG droid to check the surface of the planet so that way he knows if they can actually breathe or whatnot on this planet. So he needed this IG droid to go down, check the surface of the planet and whatnot. But then he goes and meets, I forget her name, Pele or something? I can always forget her name, but the curly hair, the one who helped him fix up his ship in the first place. He goes and meets her and she gives him a fucking droid and he takes that droid and goes and does the mission. I thought it was going to be something more than that. I thought once he asked her if she knew anybody who had the part, either A, she was going to give him a tip to someone who had the part, and this whole episode was going to be about him going to get that part, and it was going to end with him getting that part. It'd be a fun little bottle episode, but end with him getting the part, or she has the part. But I didn't think he would just take that droid, go off, and then do the fucking mission. So that was highly unexpected. I did not expect him to be visiting Mandalore this early. I didn't think he would go there. I didn't think he would literally, spoiler alert, he does the mission. He swims, he gets in the living lake, in the living waters and everything. I don't want to spoil what happens because they just came out yesterday, but something big happens. But this episode was cool because this episode kind of reminded me of the Spider episode in episode 1, where it's a little more, where it's pushing the story forward. It's pushing the story forward, but it has a lot of character stuff as well, particularly with Grogu. For the first time in quite some time, you can visibly see Grogu's growth. Grogu is smarter than you think he is. He isn't just a baby. And now it makes me wonder, if I had to say what Grogu's age is, considering how smart he actually is, Grogu's 9, maybe 10. In terms of his, for him to know what to do, to know how to handle certain situations, to be listening to Mando enough to be able to accurately navigate back to another location, Grogu is growing. And not only in terms of his mind, but in terms of his power. He is jumping around now, kind of reminiscent to how Yoda used to jump around, but he does it with ease. He uses the Force to sling himself around, which is kind of cool. He's not a helpless little baby anymore. In fact, the Force doesn't tucker him out as much as it used to. In fact, you're yet to see him get tuckered out at all since this show, in this entire episode. He used the Force multiple times, and it doesn't seem like it's taking too much out of him. So Grogu is growing. Grogu is growing. And it makes me think, I had this wild idea. Maybe I'll make a separate video talking about it. What if the next Star Wars trilogy is about an adult Grogu? Because one of the biggest complaints I've had about the Star Wars franchise is I think that considering that this is a world that has so many different alien races, and so many alien races who are like, not just like, you know, Wookiees who you can't understand their language or anything. No, like legit alien races, you know. I've always kind of lamented the fact that there are no projects in terms of like canon stuff anyways that center around an alien lead character. I've always wanted to see it. Why couldn't the lead character be a Twi'lek or something along those lines? Like, I've always lamented that. Like, there's so many great alien Jedi and stuff, and you know, especially in, you know, the not Republic era, in the Clone Wars era, there were so many great alien Jedi, and I would love to see, and it would be cool to see. And it'd almost be a full circle thing of Yoda being the one who taught the original person, and now if the new trilogy, the newest trilogy they come out with that's in the future, if it's centered around Grogu. Now imagine that. Fucking Grogu in his Beskar Mandalorian armor with the dark saber, and I'm just saying, like, they have to explain where Grogu has been. And he is the only one of his kind. Now granted, they could obviously reveal the race that Yoda is and be like, this is the race. They could obviously do that if they wanted to. I don't think they will, but they could. I doubt they will. But in my mind, for some reason, it wasn't until I was watching this episode, and it became crystal clear too, that, like, cause some people don't really, you know, understand what the relationship, like what Mando thinks of Grogu. He thinks of him, it's there's no question about it. He thinks of him as his son. The way he's talking to him in the cockpit before they land on Mandalore, where he says, our people, we, which is basically him saying, Grogu's a Mandalorian. Like, you are a Mandalorian. You are a foundling. You are a foundling. You are a Mandalorian. You are with us. You are, you know, I'm gonna raise you as a Mandalorian. Which then means that, like, Grogu's gonna grow. Like, I'm just, in my mind, I can't help but thinking about it. Like, what the fuck is Grogu gonna grow up to be, dude? He is gonna grow up. He's gonna basically be the second Jedi Mandalorian of all time. Like, oh man, I can't wait to see it. I don't know if they'll do it, but I really hope they do, because I would love to see it. But either way, there's some really fun action sequences. Bo-Katan comes back this season, which, once again, another thing that I didn't think was going to happen this soon. I was like, Bo-Katan's going to be back on episode 6 or something. No, she's back right away. And Katie Sackhoff does an amazing job. And there are a lot of, like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, but for the main crux of this story really boils down to the beliefs of Bo-Katan and Din being questioned and being both hit. Because while Din was like, believes in the more fantastical version of Mandalore and things, he finds out that maybe it's not as fantastical as I think. The Earth isn't cursed, the planet isn't cursed, you know, it's actually breathable down here. Like, it's not as bad as I thought it was. There's stuff living down here. So now Din's questioning everything he was taught. But then there's a sequence near the end of the episode that makes Bo-Katan questions everything she thinks. And there's definitely a message in there about there's a healthy balance of tradition versus practicality versus, you know, just what you see. And there has to be a line somewhere in the middle there where they can meet. And it's very clear that this season, the way they ended it, the way it felt, the music and everything when they ended this episode, it is very clear that this is leading to Mando finally being willing to take the responsibility that has been thrusted upon him with that darksaber and unite his Mandalorian people. Now, granted, it also brings the question, where the fuck were the Mandalorians during the new trilogy? But we'll leave that for Dave Filoni to figure out in some fucking, some animated series he's gonna come out with. You know what's gonna happen. Dave Filoni's gonna come out with an animated series that takes place, like, in a weird time period right before the new trilogy, right? You know what's gonna happen. But anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. What did you think of Mandalorian Episode 2? Oh, sorry. I give it a 9 out of 10 as well. Not 10-10. A 9 out of 10. Very good episode. Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show again. What did you think of The Mandalorian Episode 2, Season 3, Episode 2? Gotta throw that in there. I had a great time with it. I thought it was fun. Real fun action. Really creepy puppetry. really creepy, like actual practical puppetry and shit mixed in with some CGI shit. It was real cool, real cool. Badass Bo-Katan sequences too. Gotta leave that in there. Anyways, thank you guys again. See you on the next one. Goodbye.